All right. Well, Jason Graves is out of town, and so over the next week or so, you'll see a few new faces here on the Waiting for Nintendo channel. First one being Brendan Hesse. Hesse?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's how I heard it on another podcast I listened that you were on. And I was like, what are they talking about? It's Hess. And I was like,
Yeah.
actually, they probably checked with him beforehand. I've probably been saying it wrong this whole time.
Yep. It is Hesse, not like Herman.
So
The E
Brendan
is not
works
silent.
for sorry. Brendan works for GameSpot. He's also written for like a whole bunch of other outlets. You want to get into like just a little bit about your background?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, right now I'm an associate editor at GameSpot. That's my day job, but I also have a YouTube channel called The Crawl,
It does.
which is that's my baby. That's my passion.
Mm.
And before I did that, before I did GameSpot, I should say, I wrote for Lifehacker and did some stuff at IGN a little bit. Um, Digital Trends was like my first full-time job, and I've been on a lot of different podcasts and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been in different realms of the games media, but um, GameSpot is my current gig.
Yeah, and about the crawl, when did you start up the crawl?
Okay, so that channel had a different name at first. It was just my name. For
Right.
I think that was like 2018, 2019. I can't remember specifically.
Yeah. There's a
Um,
few older videos on the channel that still have, I think, that Brendan Hesse kind of branding.
yes, there's like I
Yeah.
think there's still a couple Zelda related videos, and like a review of the Trials of Mana remake.
Hmm.
And then there are some other videos like it used to do something kind of closer to this, but it was just me where I was like talking about news. I talked about like the Xbox Series X and the PS5 when they got revealed and some other stuff. But eventually, I just kind of got to this place where I realized what I really wanted to do. The reason I've always kind of wanted to write about games is because I'm mostly interested in the creation of them rather
Hmm.
than playing them or really like critiquing them necessarily. And so the channel warped into the crawl, which was focused on me making a dungeon crawler or dungeon crawlers plural at this point.
Yeah.
And then
You've
also
already got
talking
one out.
to yes, actually I've gotten a couple games out. One's a tabletop game.
Yeah.
One is a small little dungeon crawler.
The
Um,
tabletop game, did that predate the channel?
a little bit. It kind of
Okay.
happened. It happened along the same time, and it was it's called Super Mutant Slayers. It's like a uh, an adaptation of something like Monster Hunter into a tabletop game,
Gotcha.
with like an aesthetic of like Fantasy Star Online a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah, Brendan's a big Fantasy Star fan,
I
for
am.
the record.
Yes, I am
Yeah.
a very big Fantasy Star fan.
Yeah.
Big Monster Hunter fan too, in case you couldn't tell from all the Monster Hunter stuff next to me. But yeah, so that's kind of like the overview of how it started. And since then it's kind of evolved a little bit into I talked to a lot of other developers, and I've also done some other weird stuff. Like I made a giant Metroid documentary that you were in.
I
Um,
was. I was part of it. I was lucky to be a part of it because my Metroid knowledge is limited to only a few games in the franchise. But
come on, you did great. Your
I was happy
contributions
to
were
talk about
wonderful.
Metroid 1 and a little bit about Prime.
Yeah, but you were in that a lot. You were I think you were the first person I asked and the second person whose answers I got. So it was like don't let him fool you. Hayden was foundational to that project.
Well, I probably helped just in that by submitting my stuff soon, it kind of would start, the project kind of started to feel like it was coming along actually. Because like you had actual things to look at and you can start playing with ideas on how am I going to stitch this together?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
like I know a little bit about Brendan's job, not a lot, honestly, because I haven't ever really asked you, and we'll get into that later. But I know mostly about his YouTube channel because we're YouTubers. Well, like probably half of our subscribers are YouTubers, honestly, because like they find us from like circles of existing YouTubers. So
Yeah.
talking about YouTube is always interesting to people who do YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's funny you say that because in some ways that's by design. Like the fact that I don't like, I like what I do. I feel lucky
Mhm.
to have a games related job, but
Well,
and
it's
for
a
a long
dream
time,
job for many.
yeah, it was, and I
Yeah.
mean, and in many ways, it was for me for a long time. But the nature of what the job is now and what I do specifically, it's kind of limited.
Yeah.
And so, in order to really do the stuff about games that I'm really passionate about, the channel was the outlet for that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I said, I talk to developers and stuff now, and I think I don't want to talk too much about like what I'm working on, but the development stuff and all that sort of thing continues to be the main focus for me, especially behind the scenes, and a lot of that stuff will just continue to surface on the channel
Yeah.
as time goes on.
Yeah. We, I think, found each other around 2022.
I found you.
Well, yeah, I say found each other. Brendan found me. I'm actually not 100% sure what video it was, but I know the first one you commented on was the Goemon video. Because you said you had just subbed to me and then this popped up in your feed. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
who's this guy? And you had just published your big other From Software games video.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yeah.
man, this rips. This is
So
so
I did.
cool.
Yeah, it was a video on Kingsfield, Shadow Tower, and Eternal Ring, and I saw you post. You commented on a Jeremy Parish video,
Oh, okay.
and your profile picture and something. I don't remember what you said, but something that you said that was like intrigued me. So I clicked on your thing. I think you might have even mentioned that you had done videos or something. Maybe
Was I in there
there
low key shelling my channel in Jeremy Parrish's comments?
I don't know if it
Couldn't
was
be
like
me.
I don't know if it was that you were low key shilling your channel. I think it was more that you said something that I found very insightful and intriguing. So I just clicked on your profile and it said that you had however many subscribers at the time, and like how it like shows that little
Probably
card at the
roughly
bottom.
1,000.
Yeah, it was something like that. And then it said you had a few videos. So I clicked on it and I was like, okay, this dude's doing stuff. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like immediately like I commented on
Probably
like 3 of your
Dragon
videos.
Quest, honestly. Because
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that
it-
would have been published.
I think it was Dragon Quest and then Goemon and Zelda was that after
Zelda
we had,
was up. Zelda's like
Zelda
the
was
first
up?
one that's kind of like a real video, a real Retro Odyssey video.
I feel like those 3 videos were like the first 3 I watched, and ever since then I was like fan.
Cool. Yeah. The first one I watched of Brendan's was the From Software video. And at the time, I was a little jealous of it. I was like, man, I should have done something like this. Because like I'm a big From Software fan. And the whole thing just like flowed really well. And it had a lot of views. I think it had more views than any of my videos at that time. And I was just like, I gotta get on this kind of thing. Because like my channel had 1,000 subs, but it wasn't real because I had from a decade prior a dead 600 sub channel. So I had garnered around 400 subs, and I think you had maybe around 900 at the time.
Yeah, and almost all of those were because of a Final Fantasy 11 video that so I published that like a week before Ninja, the Twitch streamer.
Mm-hmm.
He went back and played Final Fantasy 11 on a private server like a week after I published that video, and I am pretty sure, and like the title of it was, is Final Fantasy 11 worth playing in 2021?
Right. So it was maybe
and
2021, or no, that had been out for a while.
Maybe 2020, I don't remember, but that video just popped off in a way that like I think I had like 60 subscribers when I made that video. and I had it blew up to like a couple hundred, and you know,
The video itself got over 100K views fast. So
it did,
yeah.
and it's still my most viewed video. I mean, I'm not rocking with any million videos out there. So,
Well, I think like that is a very early crawl video. I think like you've seen a lot of success recently. Well, I shouldn't say recently, but like we don't publish too often, you and I.
no, yeah.
You publish a little more than I do, but
Are you sure? I think you
I think
publish more than
so.
I do.
You think so?
I think, yeah, I do. I think because I did 3
Been 6
videos
months
last year.
for me. And before that it was 5, so I haven't really
Maybe.
come out with anything.
Maybe. I've been meaning to talk to you offline about some ideas that I have that we haven't discussed yet. But yeah, just about like stuff that I got coming up and that sort of thing. But yeah, that
I was
video.
trying to say though,
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
your Lunacid video developer interview did really good, and it kind of was like proved that that was a very valid format and that it was something that a lot of people were interested in, because it was the second one you did like that.
Yeah.
And it did even better. And then you also just had your random end of the year crawl video pop off as
That thing
well.
that thing still does numbers. It's 2023, and I got people commenting on it and being like, "Wow, dude, thanks for posting this. I found so many cool games." I'm like, "All right, yeah, sure. These like 2 years ago,
great
dude." But
thumbnail has got to be part of it. I think it's a really strong thumbnail. I don't ever know though. I'm always just going back. I look, oh, this has a lot of views. Must have been a good thumbnail.
I think it's my best one. I think it is my best thumbnail. I think it's like that, the Final Fantasy one, and the Lunacid are all 3 my best thumbnails. So
the Lunacid one I mentioned to you at the time, I really liked it.
Yeah,
it was just like the framing of it was good, the text was good, and the text you added matched the text of the game.
Yeah, that one. And I think the last couple videos I've done, I've tried to recapture the magic of the 2023 video, and to not the same success. So
yeah, that's it is how it's just it's tough out there. There have been a lot of channels complaining online recently about drops in views and whatnot. So
yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, it's a thing that's happening beyond just YouTube, and beyond just games media, games in general. There's just there's a lot of weird stuff happening with the way that the internet works now, and like basically there's everything for the last 20 years worked on an ad and affiliate networking based model that both of those things are actually like they're just walking corpses, and no one really knows that they're totally dead yet. And we're all acting like maybe everything will be fixed and go back to normal.
It's kind of like this weird deflated second lingering bubble from the 90s has popped. And we're all kind of like, wait, how does this make money again? I don't remember.
And I think for people like you and I who have day jobs separate from YouTube, the impact of that will be less. It is less because
we never really had a big enough following to consider going full time in the first place.
Right. And and that's not to say that like I don't know how it's all going to play out. I don't know what I mean, even beyond that ad revenue stuff, I don't know how the economy will shake out in 5 to 10 years. I don't know what any of this looks like. But for people like us who are really passionate and have already been kind of grinding in this place of like, I just do it because like I really want to. I'm not worried about Retro Odyssey existing for a few more years. I'm not worried about the crawl having some devlogs and developer interviews for the next few years.
You're totally right, because it's like it's not like I was gonna stop anyway. I mean, a few hundred views is kind of enough to keep me going. I say that, but that's not like 100% true, but it also kind of is.
Sure.
There's like it's always kind of like, man, why didn't this video do that great compared to other channels and other videos? But then it's also like I've grown from where I came from, and I'm extremely happy with how this is shaping out. It's like you're happy and sad at the same time sometimes.
Yeah,
As a small channel. Yeah.
it's a lot of cognitive dissonances to do this, that you subject yourself to, especially at like a smaller, like kind of hobbyist scale, but where you've had like a little bit of success.
A little bit. I still haven't actually had like a big immediate viral hit video. That has not happened for me yet, but it might someday. Who knows?
I got a good feeling about Simon's Quest.
Simon's Quest. Yeah, everyone's waiting to hear more about Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest.
Here's the thing. That game in the last couple of years has had a bit of a, like, I feel like the wave of a lot of Nintendo, like NES era stuff. Obviously that was like a while ago, and so like having them be resurfaced in a really big way is less common, but that is one of those games that has. And I feel like that and Zelda 2 to an extent,
Yeah.
like those are, I think, where there's a lot of potential there.
Sorry, I had muted a burp of mine. Just you're wondering
Totally
why the
fine.
pause was there.
I just thought you were just taking it in and like,
I was soaking it all in. I was. I also heard a baby wake up upstairs, and I was just like, okay, a lot of stimuli happening right now. But it seems like opinion has kind of shifted on Simon's Quest towards the positive. I've noticed that just in channels that I follow, and
it's because it's a good game.
I don't know how I feel about it yet. You know, because I had a bad experience so far with the Famicom Disk System version, but I've pivoted and I'm going to do that second now. I'm still going to talk about it, like how I experienced it first and how it convinced me to switch.
Yeah.
Even after buying 2 copies of the game, but, you know, that's too much. The other thing, going back to what we were talking about how do you even survive online in this climate with, like, the whole affiliate links and ads thing kind of, like, going down the gutter and the toilet. YouTube itself is also changing, like drastically, I think. Like they had shorts for a while, and every time I get on that platform, they're just begging me to watch shorts. They don't even want me to watch like actual YouTube videos anymore. They're like cramming shorts in the side, they're cramming shorts on my home screen. It's the second thing that shows up in my subscriptions tab, and it's just like every time I see it, I hit show fewer shorts. It works. Show fewer shorts is basically clicking X on an ad.
Yeah.
Like the next time you load it, there's the shelf again, and then another shelf and another shelf. And now when I search things on YouTube, it will sometimes show shorts first. And it's like I have to click the button to be like, no, videos, please. Like,
Yeah.
It feels like YouTubers are fighting with, like, they were always kind of fighting with themselves, but now we're also dealing with the looming threat of TikTok reposts. And it's just kind of like, what do I even do now? Like,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, we might talk more about it later, but I think a lot of people really have a lot of very creative ideas about what the problems facing the games industry, the problems facing games media, the problems facing YouTube, all this stuff. The biggest threat to all of that stuff, bar none, is TikTok. It's short form videos. Like that is what a lot of people and like Gen Alpha, like that's what they're choosing to do instead of play games, instead of watch YouTube videos, instead of watch a podcast. They're watching TikTok.
yeah.
For a lot of them, it's replaced Google as how they search for answers. The way that people use short form videos is wild, and it's completely foreign to how I have used the internet, and it's certainly completely removed from how my career has gone. So I'm with you. Like, it's not even necessarily that there's like, I'm like deeply against the idea of a short form video. It's just not something I'm interested in because it's just not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's easy for me to be like, well, I'm still watching HPR's latest uploads. I'm still doing all this stuff. Meanwhile, like one short can rack up like 1 million views overnight. It won't get you basically any money, and certainly no subscribers or long term
Right.
stuff. But
Yeah.
like the clout you get, the dopamine that you get from that sort of thing, it's
Well,
hard to
I
beat
don't
it.
know if you watched the Waiting for Nintendo episode where Jason and Chaotic Meatball both went to like a YouTuber meetup thing.
I don't think I saw that one.
Well, it was interesting because Jason met a guy with like over 1 million subs. He had like a few shorts with like 50 million plus views and all this stuff. And he was like, yeah. And we compared our analytics. I made more money than him last year with his like 20,000 subs, like making Super Nintendo videos. And then because he had a couple videos pop off, like his Goodwill video where it was like an hour long and it's like it's funny, like long form still pays better than
Yeah,
shorts, but YouTube wants you to make shorts. And the thing is, like, I tried it on a separate channel. Um, it's like those views are imaginary views. They're not
yeah,
real. Like when you get a view on something and I'm not even talking about like the length because like I have posted joke short videos in the past and like the views still felt like real views. This is weird. Like but since it's drip feed and since it forces them upon people, like it's kind of just like it doesn't feel right. Like
yeah.
I had a short pop off even like pop off for like uploading like 10 shorts. Like a few of them got like 3,000 views like it was nothing. Um One got like 6 or 8,000 views. And it was just like this is weird. Like this doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't feel right.
Yeah, because like the success of that is what, like, okay, are people like repeatedly watching it, and then
Yeah.
what's like, are they repeatedly watching it because they're in the comments commenting to people, or just reading what other
Yeah.
people say? Like that's such
Yeah.
a
It doesn't build real communities. It's
yeah. I was gonna
it's
say
kind
that.
of just like like no one's gonna be like, oh my gosh, unless it was like one of the funniest shorts ever. And you want to laugh at something again, no one's gonna be coming back to like shorts for like recipes and stuff. Like if anything, they're gonna like want a longer video. Like no one's gonna remember them. It just kind of it comes in and it goes out, and like you didn't choose to watch it. Like they're just like, no, let us pick what you want to watch. It's just
Yeah.
it's all uncomfortable.
Have I
Um,
shown you what my YouTube like recommendation page looks like? My homepage looks like.
no,
Let me see if I can show it so I'll pick it up on camera.
sure.
That's what it looks like.
Ooh, history is off. There you go. Oh,
I
you
don't
see,
get
I have it auto delete after 3 months,
yeah,
and so like it'll like get things off of there. That's actually pretty cool.
and I don't.
Because they use history to recommend you content. So
Yes, so um, I will get when I look at, like, let's say I watched your or Jason's most recent videos, right?
yeah,
I still have a row of shorts underneath, but that row of shorts is it's either hyper specific to what I'm watching, so like it'll be someone else's Zelda review or
or
someone
something about the
else's
game. Yeah,
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 or it is completely irrelevant to the point of disinterest. Like I like block it out. So so like and what's really interesting is if I, let's say I click on one of those shorts, right? And then I swipe up to the next one, because I don't have any history, what it always defaults to is someone's random YouTube live, where it's almost always just a dude playing a game with not talking. He's just sitting there with like 5 viewers, and it's just like,
yeah.
I don't know. Here, do you want to watch this guy? This guy's playing Valorant. Are you into that? And it's like, no, I'm not. I don't care. So like the impact that shorts have, like on my literal like attention span and like engagement on the platform, is very minor because of that. It does make it hard to find cool new stuff sometimes, but the
Yeah.
recommendations under the videos are still usually strong enough that and like I'm pretty sure like YouTube is still it's logging some stuff.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like
It'll pull from other things like cookies and stuff in your browser, so it has other sources to pull from. But I know what you mean. It's like they run out of ideas quick, and they're like, do you want to watch this? It's popular. New
and
Mr. Beast.
almost all that popular stuff, dude, is like it's almost depressing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, especially on actually, this is a good thing I've meant to screenshot some of these and send them to you. So like under waiting for Nintendo videos,
Yeah.
I scroll down a little bit, and then I'll start getting stuff like this lawyer debunks this random thing, and it's like I'm not talking like
Generic stuff.
like really generic stuff, like but I have like 10 million views,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then or it'll be like this is what you need to do to like schedule your life better, and it's like some dude who's on too much like Tren and HGH and like talking to another guy who looks just like that. Also,
Morning routines and like
like 10
workout
million views.
things and busting myths. Yeah.
It's really funny because like on something like let's say I watch another friend of mine, K Bash. Let's say I watch his video. I'll have a little bit more relevant stuff, but I think because of like where waiting for Nintendo occupies the YouTube algorithm, it still hasn't quite figured it out
with us. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, they don't
quite figured
understand what it is. Yeah, and they probably shouldn't. One thing before I forget though, going back to shorts, if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah.
From the perspective of people who make videos, like they've probably told you to make them, right? Like in YouTube Studio, like, hey, you should consider making shorts.
It really wants me to do memberships.
Ah, okay.
There have been times where it's like, hey, shorts might do well for you. But it's like, and it's funny because it words its suggestion for memberships like you are still eligible for YouTube memberships. These well, not might like these could have a big impact. These could really help your channel. Don't forget. And it's like, I mean, eventually I'll probably do YouTube memberships, but like right now I have the Patreon, but it's
swing
like
before you do something like that. You don't want to like announce memberships after you haven't been like being able to meet your own expectations a little bit.
Totally. Yeah. And it's
you want to be like hot when you announce them. You don't want to announce them after a period of inactivity.
Yeah. If I do like a 6-month streak where I get at least one, maybe even 2 videos out a month, then we can talk about memberships.
Insane.
It's insane. It's impossible. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that unless I'm unemployed. But
the thing, about shorts too. What I've noticed, you mentioned something earlier that I never got back around to, and it was about just the crazy views and the dopamine hits, like just for publishing them. I've noticed when people make both. Like you make shorts as a way like, well, you know, these get views, so maybe people will click to see the channel, which is already cope. And it's like, maybe they'll click to see the channel. And if they do, maybe they'll take a look at some of my long form content. That was what I thought when I was thinking about it initially. And that's kind of how they frame it. But like I found multiple examples of guys doing like long form gaming content, and they'd have like 300 to 800 views on their regular stuff. And then next to that, before they started separating shorts into the shorts tab, like when it was still that new, you'd have like a 400,000 short and then it like back to 200 views. And it's like, this is not really going to actually fix it. You know, it's not going to fix that I don't have real exposure.
There's nothing more disappointing to me than getting a short recommended. And I'm like, that recipe looks great. I'm going to click on that short, and then I'm going to click on their YouTube channel, and I'm going to get to see the full recipe.
They're just doing shorts?
It's just a short. And then it's like the hard like ASMR style cuts of like they're just like chop throw like no measurements, not even a full list of ingredients, no cook time or temperatures, none of that stuff. I'm like, I want to make that. That looks great. And I can't. I just got to watch this guy make it, I guess. Cool.
Yeah. I don't know, man. YouTube, I guess this has turned into a whole like state of YouTube sort of segment,
Look,
if
you
you
asked to
will.
have me on. These are not going to be short. These are not going to be coherent. I could
I'm trying to
talk.
think of like I don't even know how I segment this into a title. Was this two? Were there any natural breakpoints? I guess I'll find out in the
So anyway,
editing
yeah,
process.
my name's Brendan. I work at
Yeah.
GameSpot. This is the stuff I think about all day.
Yeah. Shallow and pedantic.
Shallow and pedantic. So what's the over under on people hearing that I work at GameSpot and had done published work at IGN, and the comment is fucking woke games media shill or some shit like that?
On here, I think it's basically zero
Okay.
because it's pretty much only like, I made
I
a
don't want to
members post about it. Did you see that?
about
I shared waiting for Nintendo with my members.
oh, I did see that yeah, and you shouted me out and like, hey, he came up with the name or whatever, but
Oh,
um
your notifications. Yeah, I did.
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna
Actually,
say
let's
though,
do that.
like,
Let's do that now.
okay.
If you're ready.
I'm good. I was gonna say though, like, it's so fashionable to hate on games journalists. I'm not even really a
Yeah.
journalist. That
Yeah.
I preemptively apologize if they, because I get comments in my videos if they find out. Like, I'll be like, I got at least 3 that are like, I was sub to you, but then I found out you work at GameSpot and I got unsub. I'm like, all
Dude,
right.
I would sub to you, but then I saw that you had members only content. Oh my god. Yeah. I told you there was a worse guy who commented like on 8 of my videos, like he was going down the line talking about how greedy I was for running ads on my videos and that there were way too many ads. And I was like, I never even replied to him, but like if I was going to, because it was already over for this guy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I clicked on his channel, he was just like ranting to nobody in his shorts thing. I was like, okay. But it's like, buddy, I don't place them.
Yeah.
I don't. You think that after all the effort I put in, I'm gonna go in and try and find ideal places to put ads? If the one thing I trust, like Google and YouTube, on is like we want people to watch videos as long as possible, I'm sure they'll do a better job. Plus,
Yeah.
like whether I'm monetized or not, there are ads. I can't explain these things to this guy. Like my videos had ads before I was partnered. Like they had
Dude,
pre-roll ads. They had everything. Like
I mean, I think it was talking to you about stuff like that and being like, I don't think I'm ever gonna do ads, and then it was like, they're gonna monetize it anyway.
yeah, they do. There's all
Might
I
as
was like,
well.
Brennan, there's already ads on your channel.
What are you gonna fucking do?
There's it's kind of this selling out thing, but it's just like it's instead of selling out, it's like, you know what? The man can have absolutely everything. He can have 100% of the
Yeah,
ads that he's showing on my channel.
sure. Yeah, he could completely use all of my creative passion for his game.
Yeah.
Totally.